The frozen encounter. The stars stretched like silver dust across the black ocean of space. Silence ruled the void, broken only by the steady hum of one small human ship drifting between forgotten routes. Inside the cockpit sat a lone pilot, tired eyes scanning empty readings on the screen. For weeks he had traveled alone, carrying supplies between distant colonies. The emptiness of space did not scare him, but it always pressed heavy on his chest. Then suddenly the silence broke. A faint distress signal blinked on his console. At first he thought it was interference. The message was weak, almost gone, but it repeated again and again. Someone or something was calling for help. His heart beat faster. No one was supposed to be out here. He turned the ship and followed the signal. After a long search, he found it. A broken escape pod floated near an asteroid field, spinning slowly, metal cracked, lights dead. He frowned. Most escape pods sent out strong beacons. This one looked half dead, as if someone wanted it to vanish in the dark. But still his hands moved. He locked onto the pod with a magnetic arm and pulled it into the docking bay. When the hatch opened, cold air rushed into the ship. Inside, he found her. A woman. She lay curled in the corner of the ruined pod, unclothed, skin pale, lips blue from freezing. Her hair floated like threads of night, her body trembling with the last sparks of life. For a moment he thought she was already gone, but then her eyes opened. They were wide, dark, and full of fear. He quickly removed his jacket and wrapped it around her. "You're safe now," he whispered, though he was not sure if she even understood his words. He carried her into the cabin, placed her near the heater, and tried to bring warmth back into her body. Minutes passed. Her breathing grew steadier, though her hand still shook. She looked at him with weak eyes, as if fighting to form words. Finally, her lips moved. "Please." Her voice was so soft, almost broken. He leaned closer. "What is it?" Her lips trembled, and then she whispered words that froze him more than the cold of space ever could. "Pretend I'm your wife." He blinked, sure he had heard wrong. "What?" Her eyes locked on his. "Pretend. I'm your wife." The request made no sense. He had just pulled her from a dying pod, and now she wanted this strange, impossible favor. He opened his mouth to question her, but the ship's alarm cut him short. Warning lights flared. Sensors detected movement, ships approaching. Not one, but several. He rushed to the cockpit. The screen showed 3 alien patrol crafts closing in. They moved fast, cutting through the void like hunters. His jaw tightened. He knew their design. These were no friendly traders. These were war scouts from a powerful alien faction that despised humanity. The woman stumbled into the cockpit, still shivering, jacket clutched tight around her. "They're here," she whispered, terror in her voice. "Who?" he asked. "The ones who want me dead." Her voice cracked, but her eyes glowed with desperate fire. "If they find me here, they'll kill us both. Please, pretend I'm your wife. It's the only way." He stared at her, torn between confusion and instinct. The alien ships were hailing his vessel. He had seconds to answer. "Why?" he asked quickly. "Why would that protect you?" Her hands clutched the jacket tighter. "Because only humans, only your people, have laws that even the Council fears. A wife under a human's protection cannot be touched. They will not dare. Not if you claim me as yours." The comm screen lit up, alien voices hissing through static. They demanded to board, demanded to search. The pilot's hand hovered over the controls. His mind raced. If he lied, if he pretended, he might invite danger bigger than he ever imagined. But if he refused, the woman's fate, and maybe his own, was sealed. She stepped closer, eyes begging. "Please, for one moment, pretend." The alarm beeped louder. The patrol ships armed their weapons. The void grew smaller, tighter, filled with danger pressing from all sides. The pilot looked at her, this fragile figure who had appeared like a ghost in the dark, and something inside him shifted. He saw not just fear in her eyes, but a spark of trust. His decision formed like steel in his chest. He opened the comm channel. The alien voices demanded again. "Do you carry anyone aboard?" "Declare now." He glanced once more at the woman. She stood silent, shivering, waiting. Then he spoke, his voice firm, carrying across the stars. "Yes," he said. "I carry my wife." The silence that followed was heavy. The aliens hissed, their scanners buzzing. But they did not fire. Not yet. The pilot's heart pounded. He did not know if his gamble would save them or doom them both. All he knew was this. The frozen encounter had become the start of something far greater than he ever expected. The hidden threat. The silence after his words felt heavier than any weight in the universe. For a long moment, the alien patrol ship said nothing. Only the hum of scanners filled the comm line, crawling over his vessel like invisible claws. Finally, the lead alien spoke, voice low and sharp like broken glass. "A human. Wifey Strange. Your kind rarely marries beyond your world. We will confirm." The pilot clenched his jaw. His gamble had worked for now, but the danger was far from over. His hands moved quickly over the controls, sending false signals to hide the escape pod still clamped under his ship. He prayed the aliens wouldn't dig too deep. Beside him, the woman sat silent, still wrapped in his jacket. Her face was pale, but her eyes never left the patrol ships. Every time their lights flashed across the screen, she flinched like a hunted animal. "They won't stop," she whispered. "They will keep searching until they are sure." He glanced at her. "Then tell me who they are. What do they want with you?" Her lips trembled, but then she spoke. "They belong to the Dominion. They are not just soldiers. They are hunters, and I—" She paused, fear twisting her voice. "I escaped them. They want me back because I know something I should not." The pilot's blood ran cold. He had heard of the Dominion, a cruel alien faction that crushed entire colonies under their rule. But what secret could one freezing woman carry that made her worth hunting across the void? The comm beeped again. "Prepare for boarding," the alien voice ordered. "We will verify your claim." His chest tightened. If they stepped aboard, if they searched, they would find her. His lie would break, and both of them would be executed on the spot. The woman grabbed his arm suddenly, eyes wide with panic. "If they come, I will not survive, please. Do not let them in." He met her gaze. Fear burned there, but so did something else. Desperation mixed with trust. Against all logic, she believed he could protect her. "Hold on," he muttered, and his hands danced over the ship's panel. The alien patrol ships locked weapons. The screen glowed red. Time ran out. Outside, 3 warcrafts closed like wolves. The pilot's heart raced. He knew his ship was small, weak, never meant for battle. Yet humans were known for something else, cunning. He flipped the stealth drive, releasing a burst of heat that masked his signature as space debris. The aliens scanned, hissed, scanned again. One ship drew closer, scanning harder. Inside the cockpit, every second dragged like an hour. The woman's hand gripped the chair, knuckles white. Her lips moved in silence, whispering words he could not hear. Finally, the scanners faded. The lead alien hissed one last time. "Strange. We find nothing but one human, and his claimed wife. For now." Their ships drifted back, circling once before vanishing into the dark. Relief rushed into his lungs. He leaned back, hands shaking. For now they were safe. But the woman did not relax. She only stared at the empty screen, eyes still wide. "They will not stop." "They never stop." He turned to her. "Then tell me what secret you're hiding. Why risk everything?" Her breath caught. She pulled his jacket tighter, as though the truth itself made her cold. Then she whispered, "They built a weapon. One the galaxy has never seen. I was part of it, and I escaped with knowledge they must never let reach humans." The words struck him like thunder. A Dominion superweapon? If true, it could change everything. Before he could ask more, the ship jolted violently. Red lights flashed. Another signal blared across the console, not from the Dominion, but from the Galactic Council. An urgent call. A demand for immediate presence. He froze. The Council almost never contacted lone traders. Something bigger was at play, something tied to her. The woman's eyes glistened with fear. She already knew. "They reported us," she whispered. "Now the Council knows I'm with you." The pilot's throat tightened. He had saved a stranger in the void. He had lied to protect her. And now the entire galaxy was watching. The secret truth. The human pilot sat stiff in his chair, the Council's message still glowing red across the console. The words were simple yet heavy. "Report to Council Station 7 immediately." He felt the weight of those letters pressing on his chest. The Council was the law above all races, a gathering of the most powerful alien factions. For a simple trader like him, being summoned was unheard of. For the woman sitting silently beside him, it was a death sentence. Her hands trembled as she clutched his jacket tighter. "We cannot go there," she whispered. "If they see me, if they learn what I know, everything will collapse." He turned to her, eyes narrowed. "Then tell me, what truth are you hiding?" Why are they chasing you through the void? She looked away, her breath uneven. For a long time she said nothing, as if speaking the words might curse them both. Finally she met his eyes. The Dominion created something, a weapon not of steel but of stars themselves. A machine that feeds on dark matter. His stomach twisted. Dark matter, something even humans barely understood. Impossible, he muttered, but her eyes blazed with painful certainty. Not impossible. I was forced to work on it. I saw it destroy a moon. They want to build fleets powered by it, fleets that could erase worlds with a single strike. If this truth spreads, war will devour the galaxy. The cockpit seemed colder now. The silence of space pressed harder as if listening. The pilot ran a hand across his face. He had expected smuggling, espionage, maybe even treason. But this was something far worse. If she was telling the truth, she carried the most dangerous secret in the galaxy. She leaned closer, voice trembling. Do you see now? Why I asked you to pretend. Humanity, your people, have one rule the others fear. Family cannot be broken, not even by the council. If I am seen as your wife, they cannot take me without breaking that law. He stared at her. Her lips were pale, her eyes desperate, and yet there was something else in her face now. Hope. She was gambling everything on him. A stranger she had met only hours ago. The comm beeped again. A second council message burned on the screen. Failure to report will be considered an act of rebellion. The pilot cursed under his breath. He knew what that meant. If he ignored this order, they would send ships far stronger than Dominion scouts. Humanity itself might be punished for his choice. The woman's voice broke through his thoughts. They will use me as proof. Proof to show that humanity cannot be trusted. If they win, your world will be forced into submission. Her words cut deep. The pilot's hands tightened on the console. He could feel the future of his people resting on his shoulders. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The hum of the engines filled the silence like the beating of a nervous heart. Finally, he made his choice. We're going, he said, his voice steady. Her eyes widened. To the council? You will hand me over? He shook his head. No, I will not betray you. But if the council wants to see us, then let them see. She stared at him, shock and fear mixing in her gaze. You do not understand. If you protect me, you make yourself their enemy. He met her eyes, his voice hard. Then so be it. The ship shifted course, engines roaring as it sped toward Council Station 7. Hours later, the massive station loomed before them, a fortress of light and steel hanging in the void. Countless ships surrounded it, vessels of every alien race, all under the Council's command. As his small human ship docked, tension filled the air. The woman's hand slipped into his, trembling, cold. She whispered again, barely audible, please, pretend I'm your wife. When the airlock opened, a dozen armored guards awaited them. Alien eyes narrowed, scanning every detail. Whispers spread through the station. A human trader, with a mysterious woman. They were escorted into a vast chamber, the council hall. Towering seats circled the room, each filled with alien leaders, scaled, feathered, metallic, and strange beyond imagination. In the center, a glowing platform rose where they were forced to stand. The voices of the council boomed like thunder. Human pilot, you bring with you a fugitive of the Dominion. Explain yourself. The woman's grip tightened. Fear burned in her eyes. The pilot stood tall, his voice echoing through the hall. She is not a fugitive. She is my wife. And as long as I draw breath, no one will harm her. The chamber erupted with noise, shouts, hisses, echoes of disbelief. The word wife rippled through the council like fire on dry leaves. Some aliens snarled in outrage. Others fell silent in fear, because they all knew one truth. When a human claimed family, nothing in the galaxy could make him surrender. The woman's eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of something else. For the first time since he found her, she looked alive. But deep in the shadows of the council hall, hidden faces watched with cold interest. And among them, one Dominion envoy smiled. The hunt was not over. Humanity's defiance, the council hall thundered with voices. Alien leaders argued, claws slammed on metal desks, tails whipped in fury. Some demanded the woman be taken at once. Others hissed that to touch her now would mean war with humanity. The human pilot stood firm in the center, his hand resting lightly on the woman's shoulder. He could feel her trembling, but he did not let go. His words still echoed in the air, she is my wife, and no power in the stars will take her from me. The Dominion envoy stepped forward, tall and cruel, scales shining under the chamber lights. His eyes burned with hatred as his voice rang out. "Council, do not be fooled by this human trick. That woman is not his wife, she is our property. She carries what belongs to the Dominion. If you protect her, you invite chaos." The chamber hushed. All eyes turned to the human. His jaw tightened. His voice, calm but unshaken, cut through the silence. "She belongs to no one. Not to your Dominion, not to your council. She is mine to protect. And if you think humans surrender their family, then you have never understood us." Gasps spread through the chamber. The council did not like being defied. Suddenly, the floor beneath them shifted. Guards surrounded the platform, weapons raised. The Dominion envoy's smile widened. "Then let us test this human loyalty," he hissed. The lights dimmed. A hidden door opened. From the shadows, a second human stepped forward. But this one wore no trader's clothes. He wore the black uniform of the Earth Fleet. The pilot froze. "You?" The officer's voice was cold. "You have broken law, pilot. You endangered peace with the council. Hand the woman over." Betrayal cut deeper than any blade. The pilot's stomach twisted. Was this truly a human officer or someone wearing human skin for the Dominion's lies? The woman gasped, clinging tighter to him. Her whisper was frantic. "He's not real. He's theirs. They'll do anything, anything to break you." The guards advanced. The chamber filled with tension so sharp it could slice through steel. For a heartbeat, the pilot wavered. He was one man against the galaxy, against the Dominion, against even his own people. Could he truly stand? Then he remembered her voice in the frozen pod. The whisper that had started it all. "Pretend I'm your wife." No, not pretend. Not anymore. His eyes hardened. He pulled her close, shielding her with his body. His voice roared across the chamber. "She is under humanity's shield. If you touch her, you declare war on Earth itself." Silence. The kind of silence that weighed heavier than sound. Every council leader froze. Every guard hesitated. Because the galaxy remembered, the last time humanity declared war, empires burned. The Dominion envoy snarled, fury boiling in his eyes. "Bluff. One man cannot speak for all your kind." But the chamber lights flickered. A deep rumble shook the floor. And then, through the station's massive windows, shadows appeared. Vast shapes rising from hyperspace. Human warships. Dozens of them. Dreadnoughts and carriers, their hulls dark and sharp, bristling with weapons. They moved in formation, silent but unstoppable, like wolves entering the herd. Gasps filled the chamber. The Dominion envoy staggered back, his confidence cracking. A council voice whispered in fear. They came for him. They came for her. The human pilot stood tall, the woman at his side, his eyes burning with quiet fire. "Now," he said, voice steady as iron. "Choose carefully, because humanity does not bluff, not when family is at stake." The chamber trembled, not from weapons but from the weight of truth. For the first time, the council itself felt fear. The final stand. The council hall shook as the shadow of human warships filled the skies outside. Their dark hulls eclipsed the stars, weapons glowing with silent promise. The galaxy had seen many fleets before, but never the warships of Earth gathered in such force. Fear spread like fire through the chamber. Alien leaders whispered, some in anger, some in awe. None dared to move. The Dominion envoy's face twisted with rage, but even he stepped back, his voice faltering. "This is madness," he spat. "One human pilot cannot drag an entire species into war." The pilot's voice cut through the noise, calm and unshaken. "I did not drag them. Humanity came because they remember what we stand for. We do not abandon our own. Not ever." He pulled the woman closer, his arm wrapped around her shoulders. She trembled, but now there was light in her eyes, a fragile hope that had not been there before. The Dominion envoy hissed, desperate. "Council, this cannot stand. If you allow this lie, then every fugitive will hide behind human family. Destroy them now before it spreads." The council chamber erupted in shouts again, factions split, chaos rising. Some feared humanity's defiance. Others feared what would happen if the Dominion's secret weapon was revealed. The woman stepped forward, voice shaking but strong. "Then let the truth be spoken." Every eye turned to her. Her voice grew louder, steadier. "The Dominion has built a weapon that feeds on dark matter itself. I saw it consume a moon. I escaped because I could not be part of genocide. They want to silence me, but if you silence me now, you doom the galaxy. Gasps filled the hall. The council leaders froze. Even the Dominion envoy's sneer cracked, his claws digging into the floor. The human pilot's voice rose beside her, steady as stone. And you wonder why I protect her? She carries not only truth, but the hope of millions. If she falls, then the stars themselves will burn. The chamber grew silent. No one dared breathe. Then, in a single motion, the Dominion envoy drew a hidden blade and lunged. His strike was fast, a blur of steel aimed for the woman's heart. But the pilot moved faster. He shoved her behind him, taking the blade across his arm. Pain flared white-hot, but he did not fall. Instead, he grabbed the envoy by the wrist, twisting until the weapon clattered to the floor. The pilot's voice thundered across the hall. This is humanity. We bleed for those we protect. And if you force us, we will make the galaxy bleed in return. The human warships outside shifted, their weapons charging. The glow of their cannons painted the chamber walls in burning light. The council leaders recoiled in fear. One alien voice, Trembling, broke the silence. Enough. The woman is under human protection. The council will not challenge it. Another voice followed, then another, until at last the ruling seal was struck. The council bowed to humanity's defiance. The Dominion envoy was dragged away, screaming curses, his plans shattered. The woman, still clutching the pilot's jacket, turned to him with tears in her eyes. You didn't just pretend, she whispered. You truly stood as if I were yours. He looked at her, his arm bleeding, but his eyes calm. That's what it means to be human. We don't let go. Outside, the human fleet turned slowly, their shadows stretching across the stars. The message was clear, written not in words but in fear. Humanity does not bow. Humanity protects its own, and humanity never forgets. The galaxy would remember that day, the day one pilot, one woman, and one word, wife, shook the stars.